Hey, welcome to my Warframes Where They Are Now series, a little series I've had brewing in the back of my mind since the early days of Warframe, quote unquote. I'm going to put this little intro at the beginning of every video in this series. If you've heard this once or more, feel free to skip it. This is just my opinion and is not guaranteed to be fact. Remember, with Warframe, everyone plays at least a little different from each other. That's why there's 52 frames as of making this intro, of course. That being said, I do plan on being as objective as I can with this series. But bias will always be a potential problem, and will definitely shine through in certain episodes, if not all. Now, that being said, I hope you enjoy the series. August 5th, 2023. Today we're talking about Mirage, the acrobatic, the trickster, the ridiculously powerful gunslinger. Base stats on a level 30 Mirage Prime are 175 armor, 225 energy, 240 health, and 330 shield, as well as 1.2 sprint speed. Mirage's passive is she's a slippery gymnast. Jokes aside, she does slide 85% longer and parkours 50% faster. Mirage's first ability, Hall of Mirrors, creates 4 clones that are there to confuse and distract the enemies, but more realistically, they're there to produce even more damage. It works best primarily with, AoE weapons, i.e. the Toncore or the Exceltra, or as Omnivoice pointed out, the Opticore. As for the Augment, Hall of Malevolence, the damage your doppelgangers do is increased by 5% every time you kill an enemy. I've been trying to find a way to work this into my build because, oh my god. As for the second ability, Sleight of Hand, you booby trap an object by sticking a pretty little gem on there, and as soon as one of the enemies has the audacity to try to steal it from you, it explodes. I helmethed mine off, and to be honest, it's been so long since I've used it, I don't remember if it's any good or not. But anyway, as for the Augment, Explosive Ledger Domain, ammo and orb pickups are turned into proximity mines that deal 1,000 damage with a 100% status chance. With what status, though? I'll be honest, I definitely want to give that a try at some point. That sounds kinda nice. I don't know how well that would work with Steel Path. Granted, I also don't know, I don't know if it scales with ability strength or not. I will say, running that with Citrine's first ability could be kinda nasty. As for her third ability, Eclipse, this is the fuck you ability, and also her Helminth ability, and a damn good one at that. It's debatably one of the best Helminth abilities, and honestly, I'd consider it to be the best if it wasn't for Gloom being in there as well. But either way, when she's standing in the light, it increases her damage. When she stands in the shadows, it makes her harder to kill. It's kinda nice. As for the Augment, Total Eclipse, while active, allies within 15 meters benefit from Eclipse. That's pretty nice. I will say it's definitely something that would be worth running on Archons if Mirage wasn't so squishy. If you have Archon shards, well, she's not squishy, therefore it's worth doing. Granted, yes, due to Eclipse being on the Helminth, you could put Eclipse on another frame and then put Total Eclipse on that frame. As for her fourth ability, Prism, or as I've been calling it, the Disco Ball of Death. You throw out what quite literally is a disco ball, and it shoots lasers in pretty much every direction, killing enemies. It's oddly enough a channeled ability as well as a duration ability. So it does eat at your energy while you leave it going, but it can only go for a set amount of time. You can also cancel it early and it explodes, which is, kind of nice, but usually, unless I, run out of enemies or whatever, I just let it go until it runs out. I find that the lasers do more damage, at least for me. As for the Augment, Prism Guard, Prism follows above Mirage, duration change to 4 seconds. If that's affected by ability duration, okay, maybe it's worth using, but realistically, I'd probably never use it myself. I don't really care for that one, to be honest. As for my build, unsurprisingly, I run high strength with a bit of duration. Pretty simple, to be honest. I will say I did Helminth off Sleight of Hand for Elemental Ward. I used the cold variant for the armor. However, once I get some Archon shards, that will change. I plan on throwing Archon shards in here primarily for survivability. If I have some room left over, I'm going to also add some duration, because that's another field she's not exactly doing the best in. But again, pretty straightforward. So how's this frame fare for Deviri? Well, as far as regular content goes, as always, she's pretty good. But as far as Steel Path content goes, she is definitely one of the ones I'm happy to get. She's definitely not my top pick. That actually goes to Saren and, Equinox and Chroma. There are a few I like, but I will say I'm never mad to see a Mirage, because I know that no matter what weapons I get, they're going to be doing pretty damn good. Not to mention, despite her being somewhat squishy, as long as you keep moving with her, she's actually kind of hard to kill, and thanks to me having the Elemental Ward, that does help with the armor issue. It's not perfect, but it works pretty good. Mirage is a frame that aged pretty damn well, and has a pretty goddamn good ability in the helmet. And she's done nothing but benefit from the power creep over the years as well. Like, her major downside was the lack of survivability. Well, Archon shards are now a thing, as well as the helmet, to be fair. And, if you're willing to sacrifice an ability, like I said in my case, Sleight of Hand, you can also just do that for survivability and put the Archon shards into something else. She's a pretty simple frame to build, and frankly, she can get you a pretty good long ways into the game. Like, you could be doing the end of Steel Path with her, realistically. All except for the interceptions. Those are an absolute pain in the ass. Not even because of enemy level either, it's just because of how interception works. By the way, that's it, and that's all. Thank you all for watching, and have a good one.